Okay, this is relating to the dating. What is the most ridiculous dating preference you've ever heard of?
Dating preference.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I've known people who like this is very superficial. Like I've known people like I am as very much into mental health awareness and getting mental health help. But I don't understand how some people put in their profiles recently, I will not date you unless you go to therapy. I
What
don't
the?
get that.
yeah, that's a
That's a
tough
real
one because
thing.
not everybody needs therapy.
Yeah.
I think that comes from I don't know. I've talked to some people about this recently. There's like a growing therapy speak culture. Um, I mean, Matt and I have both been fairly open about like the things that we do for our own mental health. So I'm not, speaking out of turn out of some
Shouts to
bravado
growth
here.
therapy.
Yeah. Um, but um but in all seriousness, there's like a growing mental health culture where people are using these terminologies and not because they know what they mean or because they even apply, just because they want to. Like it's a thing. It's like almost like a trend. It's trendy to talk therapy. And so I think that probably comes from that. If I had to guess, that's people like you have to go to therapy because the worldview that they have is that everyone needs therapy and everyone must speak the same way and all of that. So I could see why it's happening, but I do think that again, it's incredibly ridiculous to make somebody do something they may not need and also do something they're not comfortable with. If you're interested in someone, you should be interested in them regardless. And then if issues arise and you think therapy might be required, then sure. Be like, hey, listen, you need to work out some stuff. Like you should go to therapy. In terms of me, I have noticed that, and this might be something that I've just noticed once or twice, to be honest, but there's like a weird group like split on height. So obviously the conventional wisdom is you have to be pretty tall to like, you know, get a good date. But there's some people who apparently are requesting people be like shorter, like short. And I feel like that's strange. I mean, it's strange in my opinion to care about height much at all, but I understand that that's not
What?
conventionally the case. However, feel like people wanting like a little like small short guy is strange. I'm specifically talking about guys here. And
Oh.
I'm not tall, so I mean, I don't hate it, but I do think that's weird that people have kind of like they're like trying to course correct from being too invested in tall people that they're now like excluding
No, and it's
everyone
all
who's
about the
not
short kings
tall.
now.
Right. So I mean like it's almost like we've been too into tall for so long that we have to now course correct and only date short guys. And I feel like that's a little weird. I do. I think that's strange.
Well, guys will like shorter women.
I think that's strange too. But
Really?
yeah, I mean I don't think the height of a person should matter much at all, whether you have a connection with them. But yeah, I do
Really, Ryan?
but for some reason, I'll own my own thing here. I do think it's weirder that when women want a short guy than when guys want a short girl. I will say that. And maybe that's because that's the conventional versus the unconventional. But yeah, prioritizing shortness to me is a strange dating thing. And it's not everybody, but there's like a weird growing, not weird, but there's like a growing group and like short kings. And I
I've
find that
actually heard
interesting.
and seen that as well. That's really is. Some one person on TikTok was having a bad day or good day, and I'm setting the trend for everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, so the short king thing. I'm not a short king. I did check. I was a little. In fact, maybe honestly, it might be jealousy because I'm not a short king.
Well, how tall are you?
5'9", too
You're
tall.
taller than me
You might
by
be a
an
short
inch.
king. You might be a short king.
I don't know. I like my Spanish women. They're all short, so we're all right. It goes.
I mean, because I'm pretty short for my family. Actually, I'm shortest in my family. But I think that just because my family's tall, I'm not short. I'm just normal, and everybody else is tall. But yeah, no, I have to be like 5'7" or whatever, apparently, to be a short king. So I didn't make the cut. I'm nowhere. I'm in no man's land.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet, so I'm the shortest of the tall guys.
Yeah,
So the
6 foot
question,
is officially tall, but it's not that tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
so what was the question again?
Weird dating
Weird
things.
dating preferences. What are the weirdest
Oh,
you've heard?
I got one. Uh,
I figured you would.
well, it's weird to me, in the sense where I always be at like preferences if I'm a Trump supporter or if I'm not a Trump supporter. It's probably number
That's
freaking
happened.
one
Yeah,
on
that is
everybody's profile.
that is one.
That
Um,
happens. Yeah.
that's annoying because my penis doesn't give a crap of either or. It just got one place it needs to go. It doesn't matter.
Well, if you're looking for a relationship, I could see why you might want to align values a
But
little
I
bit better.
don't
But
care. He's 4 years. He's gonna win this year, and that's it.
oh, no, no,
What
no.
kind of
Yeah, we're
stupid
not. Yeah,
question is that?
we're not doing a politics thing. I'm just saying if you are
I
trying to
got
align your values long term with somebody, knowing how they lean politically is probably an important part of that process.
Hey there.
Ryan. You thinking long term? We thinking
Well,
short term.
no, it's what I'm
Right now,
saying.
I
Short
give a
term,
crap
I
about the
agree.
bedroom.
Right, short
She
term, I
might,
agree.
hey, how good she's in the bedroom might change my political views.
Change your vote.
Yes, real quick. Just saying, she's a Republican. She did me good in bed. I'm like, hey, you know what? Republicans is looking real good right now.
I'm dead.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's a campaign strategy. I don't think either side has considered using yet.
Well,
Sending men and women out there to,
well,
you know,
Biden and Trump want to send me somebody, and they're really good.
you'll
It
judge.
might
Yeah, let's
sway
say
my
we
vote.
haven't had the campaign volunteers who are going out to get intimate with the swing voters in each of the
Yeah,
swing states and see if they can
they
convert
probably.
some
I
people.
mean, they probably think like one of
Man,
those
all the
brothels
political
that.
terms we've been saying this whole week.
I know this
I'm
week has been too political. But I will say, yeah, if you're looking for a hookup specifically, like that's the scenario, Jose, that you've laid out for us, then yeah, I do
well,
think
yeah, of
it's
course. And
strange to spend too much time worrying about, and not even just thoughts on that, but like thoughts on like philosophies, like worrying too much about that from someone that you don't anticipate seeing more than a few times and for a few hours at a time. That yeah, I feel like if you're looking for fun and someone seems fun, then you don't need to know like their economics policy.
correct.
I
And
have seen a lot lately too, at least in Connecticut, New
well,
York,
yeah,
New
and then you're
Jersey.
stuck, and you're gonna be stuck lying because
Well,
you're
you
gonna be
could just not
telling.
lie.
Well, I could, but if she's hot, I'm gonna say no. I'm not a bun. Like no, I'm just gonna be like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pro. Whatever you are, I'm pro with you.
Wait,
definitely
yes,
in the
Until you,
yeah,
tri-state area, it's a prevalent question. I've
yeah.
seen a lot.
I
right.
could also I can also see because some of this stuff, and this is again not even a Trump Biden thing, but some politics questions have to do with identity, right? And so instead of asking like pointed questions about identity, you can kind of just shorthand it. If someone picks the wrong person, quote unquote, then you can be reasonably certain that they have a problem with a particular identity that you represent. Um, Again, that might be a reason, even if you're just like hooking up with someone, that you might
Yeah,
want to know that is like, I mean, I'll just say, like, if you are, if you're an immigrant, right, like from another country, and someone likes policies or a candidate that's less, that's harsher on immigration, then maybe that's not someone you want to even go on the date with, let alone date long term, right? So I don't know, like I agree if you're just trying to have a little fun, then fun is fun, but I think that
yeah,
there's a lot of reasons why you may want to know someone's thoughts on certain things before, especially if you're committing to them for any extended period of time, you know?
right. And you worry about it then. That's what I have to say there. But I'll never
Hmm.
forget a story relating to this. I'll never forget this. Still in college, so me and Ryan were seniors in college when Trump won the first election, right? So
Right.
this is a fall of 2017. I was in this internship, right? And I had
Mm-hmm.
the biggest crush on this one person, right? Never really pursued it or anything. It's just like a big puppy dog crush, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always professional at work and stuff, but I was like if we just met on the street and said I would have shot my shot right there. I don't any hesitation I've had in my life, it'd be like that, you know? So I know I've never like had a chance with this person, right? But I I go to this college party at another campus, right? Not my own, at a different campus, seeing a friend. And I saw someone who looked just like her.
Mm.
And I went talking and like things were progressing. Things were going so well. I'm like, oh man, we're cooking right here, right? So I'm with my buddy who is a big Trump supporter and talking with the and anyways, he was talking with and she had it was like hit me and this girl who looked like my crush, and then this and him and her friend. Then he let the Trump thing out, and this was after he was elected. And you would have seen the rage on her face. And these two just screaming, blah, 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 everything, and they just left the party. I was like, damn it. Fucking Trump. And that's what I did learn. Like, wow, people take this stuff really seriously. Like, we were going, it was so like, this is so stupid, man. It wasn't even me either. Well, just because I'm associated with because I'm associated with this person, I lost out. I could have had a future wife.
Yeah, that's the part that stinks, is that you did nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't even ask you what you thought. Not saying that you would have passed that test, by the way, Matt, but they didn't they didn't ask what you thought about anything. They just assumed because your friend had thoughts they disagreed with that you too had those thoughts, which is probably not true. At least not entirely.
At all. I voted again. I voted for Trump's opponent at the time. So
yeah, so
I literally did it because you could literally see my records to show that I didn't feel that way. I felt the same way you did.
Right, but you had a friend, and that's the part that stinks about it, is you can't have a friend. And I understand the arguments for and against. I'm not gonna really address those. But I will say that people do take it seriously. I'm not of the mind that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I am of the mind that perspective is always important. You got to keep yourself firmly planted on terra firma right here on Earth. Don't get too stuck in the sky with the rhetoric and all that. But it's important to people. So I don't know, Jose. I mean, I get why it's annoying for you, because you have to change your answer depending on who you're trying to hook up with. Exactly. And that means you got to pay attention to everybody. You got to know what's going on all sides, so you could convince them that you're with them, whether you're with them or not.
You're right, and the funny thing is, I like to thank Bill Maher.
Right? Oh, Bill Maher gives you what you need.
That just get my little info, and I'm good to go for the week.
Oh. Dude, my dad loves Bill Maher.
I love Bill Maher. I'm going to Wallingford one.
He's one of those old kind of, I don't want to say hangers on, because that sounds negative, and I don't mean it to be negative. But like, he's like from a previous time. He's a celebrity and a host from a very different, less segmented time.
The show's extremely popular, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not making fun of it. It's like he's doing something that used to be very common and is no longer very common. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't necessarily like Bill Maher.
He makes politics cool, to be honest with you. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't give two shits.
I mean, I don't like Bill Maher, but I shouldn't say don't like him. I've got no problem with him. I just don't. I don't typically watch his show. That's not the shows that I watch. But yeah, no, I think you're right that for a lot of people, he is their only source. Right, he's their news source, and I do think it's a better news source than some people have.
He has an amazing podcast too. Yeah, I guess he gets
Club Random.
Yeah, big fan of that. Here's one thing, Ryan. I meant to tell you about this. Guess who we had on this week?
I don't know.
Army Hammer. Probably the only interview. He interviewed it. I didn't listen to it but I'll get to it eventually. But that might be his only interview.
What's it called? The Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, there was a viral moment on that one.
I watched the whole thing after I saw the viral moment. That was pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, he's hilarious on that show, on the pod. But any more ridiculous dating preferences you could think of?
No.
The only one I could think of is when you talk to a girl and she just wants you to be the third. And it's like
somebody like a poly girl. Oh no, a girl who has a man. He's like, I want you with us.
Yeah, just be the third. Just her husband can watch or whatever.
Oh, the cuckolding. That is.
Yeah, that's not ever happened to me. I've never been.
I get that. I get that a lot.
I'll
You get
plead the
that
fifth
really?
there.
You're like, yo, I want.
I get
I,
like at least once every 2 weeks. I'll get a girl ask me if if I'm willing to do the deed while her husband watches, or like sometimes you can do it over video or whatever if I don't feel comfortable that the husband's in the room. Like they're asking like
you never even did
10,000
it like
questions.
even just once.
I was close to. She was smoking hot, but it's just suspect because you don't want to get robbed. And it was New
Yeah,
Haven.
Right.
And it was kind of sketchy.
There's a
So
power
you know,
dynamic there where there's two of them and one of you.
right. If it
So
was like maybe if it was at a Hilton and maybe someone close like Stanford or Norwalk, I
Mhm.
probably would have done it. But it's fucking New Haven, sketchy as hell.
Well, right.
Um,
You don't know anybody. I could see why you'd
like
be nervous,
New Haven, Waterbury, Bridgeport. I ain't going anywhere. If it ain't like, and no motels. Like if it was homegirl was
motel.
like, hey, it was like a double tree. Yeah, I would probably do it just for the hell of it. Well, I'm not a sucker. I'm not gonna say no to that.
No, no,
So,
no.
so
You guys are
let them
funny.
girls know out there, whoever listened to this podcast that want looking for a third. I am down, but it has to
right?
be on the double tree or any Hilton brand. Marriott maybe.
Doubletree in Stanford. Sounds like that's where you most
Man.
comfortable.
Oh, not the
Uh,
Stanford Inn or the Red Roof
heck,
Inn
The Red
you
Roof
listen.
Inn.
If you
behind
offer me the
WWE.
Red Roof Inn, I tell you this right now, I ain't even. I'll just freaking block you. I won't even answer that.
You want to spend a night in the Red Roof Inn with your concrete
Yeah,
bed, concrete
red.
bed. They just put a sheet over
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
it. Not even for you, Jose.